Bosses at Disney have vowed to become more inclusive. They've confirmed that 50% of characters and content will be from underrepresented groups, such as racial minorities and the LGBTQ community, by the end of the year. So a Disney executive has admitted they're seeking to increase diversity within the company because it's good for business, apparently. Well, are Disney right to do this? And what could it mean for actors? I'm joined now by the actor and former Coronation Street star, and I think it's fair to say heartthrob, Sean Ward. How are you?
I'll behave, don't start. I'm very well, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, mate. Very well. Pleasure to have you on the show. Well, let's just deal with the matter in hand, really. What do you reckon to this idea now that Disney is saying that they're going to increase the level of diversity? They've said it's good for business, but they want 50% of characters and content to be from underrepresented groups such as racial minorities and the LGBTQ community. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a strong ally of the LGBTQ community. I've been going to Mardi Gras since I was young. But for me now, it's like, at what point can I don't think I can play someone who's in drag or someone who's homosexual, would rather go to an actual person who is homosexual, and I fully understand that. But can I not play an American now? Can I not put on an American accent? And like, where do we draw the line? And just before lockdown, I was actually about to play a drag artist, so. But.
Is he there? Oh, I think we might have just lost his connection slightly. Don't worry, we can always come back to Sean. I'm sure he'll pop back up. Are you there? Are you back on, Sean? He's there. There he is. Good stuff. No, you raised an interesting point. You raised a really interesting point because, you know, now is it only people from a particular demographic, whatever that may be, who can play that role? That must be quite limiting, Sean.
Yeah, and then also, if you take that into account, aren't people getting a job based on political agendas rather than talent? So, like, I don't know. Just say if I was up for a job against someone who was in the LGBT community, would he get the job just because of that? Even though I was better, say, suited as an actor.
How have you found the way that the acting community's treated you recently? Because you were quite outspoken about some things, weren't you? I think when it came to lockdowns, etc. Is that right?
Yes, extremely, yeah. While I'm on air, I just would like to say I don't believe that 5 to 11-year-olds should be jabbed. So I'll just get that in while I can.
That's your personal view.
Thank you, sir. And yeah, but just everyone's a bit too woke at the minute, and the self-censorship's real. And I just think we should all have the right to be able to voice our opinion still. And it doesn't mean we have to fall out and not be friends.
No, exactly. But it's a shame, actually, isn't it? Because it does all too often mean that you do fall out and you do lose friends. And that's something that really winds me up, actually, because that's not really where we should be. And I think that's one of the beauties of this show and one of the beauties of this channel, for me anyway, is that we can have these kind of conversations. But do you think that actually what Disney is saying now, for example, that they're admitting anyway that it's actually good for business, it's not even actually just a moral decision, this, is it? It's financial. It's virtue signalling.
Yeah, it is, yeah. They've said that this Gen Z is 30 to 40% more queer, so they're catering to that, which I don't know how they've got them statistics either. But it just seemed a little bit of a political move rather than, and like you said, it's just business. It's just business. They don't really care about the LGBT community either.
No, well, I suspect possibly not, given what they've just said there. Very, very lastly, Sean, thank you, appreciate your time this evening. How have you found it work-wise since you I suppose, gave your honestly held views about things like vaccines and lockdowns, etc. What's been the personal toll for you? Have you lost friends?
Yeah, I mean, it's family. I get messages from family in America telling me off, and you know, I don't know how far it has really rippled. Maybe when I go for an audition, someone might say I don't want to see that man because of his views. So I'm never really going to know how much or how little, you know. But as long as everyone has the right to speak up and say what they want to say about something and not feel bullied or ashamed for it, then, you know, and also, I don't believe in what Esther just said. I have to say lockdowns have been terrible. Children can't speak. Suicide rates were through the roof. You know, the balance, the risk doesn't outweigh the balance, and the government knew all this anyway. So the mental health pandemic is through the roof now.
Yeah, there's lots of other pandemics taking place at the moment, aren't there, actually? Sean, Thank you very, very much. Sean Ward, pleasure to have you on the show.